welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpses of South Asia. I'm your host Yeshi. Here are the headlines. Sri Lanka President dissolves Parliament, elections set for April. Former employees of AKLASC held protest against the administration in POK. And Hindu devotees indulge in pre-Holi celebrations. Let's begin the show. People in Pakistan's largest and resource-rich province of Balochistan are enduring an endless state-sponsored oppression. The locals, who refer to Pakistan's administration in the region as colonial subjugation, have for years been running pillar to post, seeking help in getting them freedom. Recently, a group of Baloch activists held a demonstration outside the United Nations in Geneva on the sidelines of the 43rd session of UNHRC. They accused Islamabad of being an occupier, plunderer and a human rights violator. Our report.
This group of men and women in Swiss city of Geneva is representing hundreds of thousands of persecuted Balochs in Pakistan. The floats and banners reading "Balochistan is bleeding," "Free Balochistan," and "Stop Enforced Disappearances" speak volume about Pakistan's stepped-up efforts of eliminating the Baloch ethnicity. A number of similar events have been organized by exiled Baloch leaders and activists on the sidelines of the ongoing United Nations Human Rights Council session that aim to expose Pakistani atrocities in Balochistan and its hypocrisy at international platforms. Munir Mengal, the president of Baloch Voice Association, is disappointed with the little attention their movement has received from international community and seeks an immediate UN intervention.
The people inside Baloch are being eliminated. We are receiving reports. We are receiving the data which shows that the Pakistani state is eliminating Baloch. Approximately, 8 to 10 people are being victim of enforced disappearances per week. Approximately 3 to 4 people are being killed by the Pakistani state forces. Only of those who were kidnapped, who are victim of enforced disappearances.
Balochistan has huge gas and mineral reserves and contributes a large share to Pakistan's revenue, but does not receive corresponding appreciation in return. Those who dissent or demand their rights are systematically targeted by state forces. Government takes extrajudicial measures to stifle their voices. They are subject to police high-handedness and imprisoned incommunicado. In past few years alone, hundreds of locals have been killed and thousands others have vanished without a trace. Activists accuse army of attacking and violating women in order to rein in the dissenting men of the region. They even accuse army of trading their organs after killing them.
They are using rape as a tool of oppression. They are taking our women, they are torturing our women, and Baloch women are very, very, all women are honorable, but the tribal kind of women, the women who are not in mainstream, who have never seen these army people, they just come, they burn our houses and they grab our women, they grab our kids just to take their organs out. They're selling organs of Baloch people. It's hell that's going on there. 40 million Balochs, they are just in concentration of Pakistan and Iran also. So this is the this is the time that United Nations should understand and United Nations should feel their responsibility to come to Balochistan and intervene.
Baloch activists have made repeated pleas before the world. They want international community to take note of the massive human rights violations being carried out at the commands of Pakistan Army. Over the years, they have lodged several complaints with the United Nations and have held various protests around different cities of the world. But all their requests and petitions have fallen on deaf ears of international community, as no action, not even a statement of condemnation, has been issued from any state or organization. A poor Baloch has nowhere to go today, as plights are mounting and hopes are diminishing. An absence of an international response has confirmed to the looming catastrophe, which he is in no position to escape.
Moving on, the President of island nation of Sri Lanka, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, has dissolved country's parliament and has called for fresh elections in April. While the supporters and the members of his party hailed the decision as appropriate in the nation's interest, the opposition has cried foul and has blamed his government's incompetence as the prime reason behind the announcement. A report.
6 months before its term gets completed, the Sri Lankan parliament has been dissolved by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. President used his constitutional powers to push fresh elections in the country that has suffered both economic and political setbacks in recent past. Rajapaksa said that the presidency will reclaim most of the executive powers that had been clipped through an amendment by former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The 225 seats of the parliament will go to polls next month, and the elected members will meet in May. Supporters have called it an intelligent decision, citing the country is going through political and economic turmoil.
අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ ගත්ත හොඳම තීරණය තමයි පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසිරූප එක. නිසි කාලයට නිසි විදියට වැසි වස්සනවා වගේ රටේ දියුණුව වෙනුවෙන් මේ ගත්ත තීරණය ගැන වෙනුර පෙරේරා ජනතාවට කියනවා මේක බුද්ධිමත් තීරණයක්. ජනතාව සූදානම් වෙන්න බුද්ධිමත්ව හිතලා බුද්ධිමත්ව නායකයෝ පත් කරගන්න කිසිම පක්ෂයකට කඩේ නොගිය.
Ever since he became president, Rajapaksa has been running a minority government with his brother Mahinda holding the chair of Prime Minister.
Delhi, yeah. My folks are from the other side. But that's all.
The government requires absolute majority in the House to push its legislative plans and agendas. The Rajapaksa brothers are in fact need of 2/3 majority to make any constitutional amendment which they have long been seeking. The opposition, however, has criticized the move, saying it was a violation of the democratic nature of the Sri Lankan parliament.
තව මාස 6ක් අපිට නිල කාලේ තියෙනවා. ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයා කැමති නැහැ මේ ආණ්ඩුව තව එක මාසයක්වත් ඉස්සරහට යන්න කැමති නැහැ. මොකද මේ පාලනය කරපු මාස 3ක කාල සීමාව තුළ ආණ්ඩුවේ නිර්වත බරපතල විදිහට හෙල්ලුම් කෑවා දෙදරුවා.
Fresh elections will provide Rajapaksa brothers with an opportunity to set the tone for domestic, diplomatic and economic future of the country. While the sagging economy has been the country's major worry lately, a robust security policy and resisting the influence of other countries on the island is going to be key objectives of the next parliament.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in our segment called Asia Watch.
China continues to see positive signs that its epidemic control measures are proving successful, with the country reporting just 11 new confirmed cases of the COVID-19 disease outside the epicenter Hubei province. The recovery rate of the coronavirus remains promising, with 2,742 people being discharged from hospitals across the country after recovering, while the number of severe cases decreased by 304 to 6,806. Chinese President Xi Jinping paid a visit to the Academy of Military Medical Sciences and the School of Medicine at Tsinghua University in Beijing and stressed the need to advance scientific research into COVID-19 so as to provide greater support for winning the battle against the epidemic.
تقدمها الصين من جهود، طبعا كلنا نتابع ونرصد التقييم الذي يتم لتفاعل الصين من منظمة الصحة العالمية. طبعا التعاون وتبادل المعلومات وتبادل الخبرات من خلال القنوات في المنظمات المختصة هذا أمر مستمر. شك بأن الصين ستكون إحدى هذه الدول التي يستفيد العالم مما تقدمه من دراسات بحكم عدد الحالات وبحكم الاهتمام العالي للتحكم في انتشاره في الصين.
There was more good news when two elderly patients, both aged in their late 90s, were discharged from the hospital in Wuhan over the past 2 days after recovery from their respective infections. Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli successfully underwent his second kidney transplant surgery at a hospital. The 68-year-old Prime Minister's condition was stable and was kept under medical supervision at a post-operative ward in the Tribhuvan University Teaching Hospital.
माननीय प्रधानमन्त्री केपी शर्मा ओलीजीको आज मिति 2076 साल फागुन 21 गते त्रिवी शिक्षण अस्पताल महाराजगञ्जमा मृगौला प्रत्यारोपण सम्पन्न गरिएको छ। हाल उहाँको स्वास्थ्य स्थिर अवस्थामा रहेको छ। उहाँको सबै मुख्य सूचकाङ्कहरू राम्रो अवस्थामा रहेका छन्। प्रत्यारोपित मृगौलाले पनि काम गर्न सुरु गरिसकेको छ र उहाँलाई प्रत्यारोपण उपचार कक्षमा राखी उपचारलाई निरन्तरता दिइनेछ।
A team of doctors led by Dr. Prem Raj Gyawali, a consultant urologist and kidney transplant surgeon, performed the transplant, which took 5 hours to complete. He underwent dialysis on Tuesday to remove toxins ahead of the transplant. This was Oli's second kidney transplant. The first was performed in India in 2007 after both his kidneys had failed. Oli also underwent an appendicitis surgery in November last year. Casio held an event to announce to buyers and the media the new production of the world's most popular watch, G-Shock. G-Shock series are lined up in the first half of fiscal 2020. Currently, watch market is matured, but Casio tries to develop market not only in Asia but all over the world. This is a model GM6900, which is made of resin, but in the new model, it is made of metal. These G-Shock watches record biometric information in conjunction with smartphones and tablets.
太陽発電で動く時計にセンサー機能を加え、さらにそこに GPS と心拍を計測するハートレートモニターの機能を加えています。耐衝撃、それから20気圧防水という非常に耐久性に優れた G-SHOCK にこの心拍計測のセンサーを搭載するところが非常に苦労したポイントです。G-SHOCK ってものすごくスポーツシーンと親和性のあるブランドだったと思うんですよね。トレーニングに特化したモデルってやっぱり今までなかった。そういう意味では自分の体コンディション気にしてる G-SHOCK のファンのユーザーの方にぜひ使っていただきたいなと思ってます。
G-Shock is offered at affordable price in emerging countries. Casio has a policy for contributing to the world as a brand in watches. Pioneer in watchmakers, Casio adds new values to their watches to match today's lifestyle and contributing G-Shock as an integral tool for people's life. Enoshima is a small island in Sagami Bay, Kanagawa Prefecture. It takes about an hour to reach there from Tokyo area. It has long remained a popular destination for day tripping. Today, it is a bustling island with mix of traditional and modern values and packed with shops, restaurants and sightseeing spots. At the top of the island is Enoshima Shrine. Many tourists come there to offer prayers.
江ノ島となりますと縁結びの神様としてとても有名でして、龍神様と弁財天様の縁結びの物語がありますので、そちらがとても有名でございます。青銅の鳥居から参道になってまして、島の方々の生活道路としても使われております。
The image of Mount Fuji with the sea and the Enoshima is considered the most famous image of the sea in the history of Japanese art. It was first painted more than 300 years ago, and many artists still go to Enoshima to paint this scene. Visitors to Enoshima can enjoy the original natural scenery and traditional culture of Japan.
Moving on, the former employees of AKLASC, a subsidiary of the government of Pakistan, held a protest against the corporation in the illegally occupied region of POK. The employees demanded their outstanding salaries and called for an indefinite protest against the corporation if their demands are not met. We have a report.
Former employees of AKLASC, a government subsidiary that shut down its operations around 2 years ago, are demonstrating against the government for the non-payment of their dues. They are on a sit-in in Muzaffarabad city of illegally occupied POK to raise their concerns. While some are asking for pension, others are demanding their outstanding salaries. They have held similar protests in the past as well, but the authorities have turned a blind eye. Their lives, they say, have become nothing short of miserable as they are forced to live in a state of abject poverty. Their children are forced to drop out of school. Unlike previous protests, they are determined this time and will not give up until all of their demands are met.
महकमा क्लास गवर्नमेंट ने वाइंड अप किया तो हम मुतासिरीन बैठे हुए अदायगी हमारी प्लाट बिक चुका है अदायगी की वजह से बैठे हुए बाकी मामला तय हो चुके हैं लेकिन 3 माह से हमारा पैसा अकाउंट में आया हुआ है और हमें अदायगी नहीं हो रही तो हम 10 दिन से इस धरने में बैठे हुए कि हमें अदायगी करो और हम वापस घर पर जाएँ तो घर के बड़े मसाइल हैं और अफलास में बड़े मुश्किल मामलात में ये जो हमारे लोग हैं इनकी ज़िंदगियाँ गुजारना मुश्किल हो गया है और स्कूल का इम्तहान का दौर है फीसों का मामला है बड़ी बेचिकियाँ गिनना शुरू करें तो हम आपको गिनाते ही रहे दिन गुजर जाए लेकिन हमारा कोई अभी हल जो जिससे हम मुतमईन हुई है कि हमारा काम हो गया उस तरह कोई पेशरफ्त नहीं हुई है तो इसलिए हम धरने पे बैठे हुए हैं अदायगी तक हम धरने पे ही बैठे रहेंगे
हमारे मुतालबात वरना कुर्सी वरना कुर्सी वरना कुर्सी
The AKLASC was generating substantial revenue from extraction of timber until the felling of trees was banned in 1997. However, the company continued to operate till March 2018. It was finally dissolved owing to its liability. Depressed employees of the dissolved public sector corporation have not received any severance pay against the decades of their service to the company. Closing down of the factory did not affect the government treasury much as the corporation did not pay the salaries of its employees and sold the plot on which the company was established.
शोभा सेल में काम करता है मुझे 28 साल सर्विस हुई है हमें नौकरी से निकाल दिया गया और हमारा प्लाट जो इस्लामाबाद में बड़ा प्लाट था वो बिका उसको 3 माह से ऊपर हो गए उसके हमें पैसे भी अकाउंट में आए हमें अदायगी नहीं हो रही उसकी ये हमारी मुश्किलात हैं अब हुकूमत तौर से कोई अहदेदार कोई नुमाइंदा हमारे पास नहीं आया ये बहुत बड़ी ज़्यादती हमारे पास हमारे साथ हो रही है।
Administration's indifferent attitude towards demands of these former AKLASC employees is not an isolated case of apathy, but the non-payment of salaries and pensions has seemingly become a norm in the illegally occupied territory, with people from one other organization regularly taking to the streets. These agitated people have been protesting for nearly 2 years now, and there is no reprieve in sight.
India is well known for its vibrant culture and festivities, where every season brings celebration along with it. One such festival is Holi, which is celebrated on the onset of spring. Holi is considered as one of the most revered and celebrated festivals of India, and it is also celebrated in almost every part of the country. It is sometimes also called the Festival of Love. On this day, people come together forgetting all resentments towards each other. It is celebrated with the spirit of fun and enthusiasm. Let's take a look.
Hindu devotees were drenched in colors as they celebrated Laddu Mar Holi, a celebration that heralds the arrival of Holi, the festival of colors. The flung laddus are pocketed with reference as blessed offerings and hence the name Laddu Holi.
आज लड्डू होली और यहाँ का आनंद बिल्कुल अलग है। सारी दुनिया में कई जगह पे फेस्टिवल होते हैं, लेकिन यहाँ पर जो अपनापन मिलता है वो कहीं नहीं।
The vibrancy of this festival is at its best in Mathura district's Nandgaon and Barsana villages. Legend has it that on this day, Lord Krishna came to Barsana, his beloved Radha's village, from his native place Nandgaon. Laddus are distributed to mark the coming of Lord Krishna to beloved's village. Like every year, this year too, people in the Barsana city of India's Uttar Pradesh celebrated Laddu Mar Holi with full enthusiasm and gaiety. Celebrating an age-old tradition, men from neighboring towns and villages come to Barsana and sing provocative songs to invite the attention of women.
राधा रानी के रूप में ये गोपियां बरसाने नंदगांव के भोरियारों पे लाठियां बरसाएंगी। बरसा रही, पूरी तैयारी हो गई। आप देखें, ये सौभाग्यशाली लाठियां खाने के लिए होरियारे उत्सुक हैं। हम सब लोग उसका आनंद ले रहे हैं।
The women go on the offensive and use long staves called lathis to beat up the men folk who protect themselves with shields. This particular sequence gives Barsana's Holi festival the appellation of Latmar or hitting with staves.
फिर वो अपनी मजबूत लाठियों से प्रहार करती हैं। हमारे पास ढाल है, ढाल पे उन्हें झेलते हैं, कन्हैया लाल का जयकारा करते हैं और इस समय जब तक ये लीला चलती है सूर्यास्त नहीं होता है।
It was amazing. It was the best time ever. I really recommend it. It was awesome.
Holi is celebrated for 45 days in Mathura or Breach as it is known by the people of the country. The celebrations are considered incomplete without the Latmar event. It is believed that the spirit of Holi encourages the feeling of brotherhood in the society, and even enemies become friends on this day, strengthening the social fabric of the country.
It's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We will be back next week at the same time. This is Yeshi signing off on behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.